Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel or on our website or on our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing a 150-piece limited series, a special series watch from 2010. This is the Panerai Radiomir Tourbillon GMT PAM00350. Again, 150 pieces, 48 millimeters in nearly scratch-proof black ceramic. This is the Radiomir taken to the level of high horological science. As a result, you can see it is part of the Scienziato series of Panerai high-tech, high-spec complications. Now, the watch being 48 millimeters is one of the largest Panerai offers. It's also thick. At 18.4 millimeters thick from lug to lug, the watch is 57 millimeters, and it has a spacing, if you want to call it that, of 26 millimeters. That is the size of the strap it takes. It is a large watch, though being principally composed of air, sapphire, and ceramic. It actually doesn't weigh that much. It feels roughly like what a 42 millimeter steel Luminor submersible would feel like on the wrist, which is to say it's actually fairly light. Now, it's not going to fit underneath the cuff, and you can see that to good effect. Because the wire lugs basically just sit there to drape the strap over the wrist, I can actually recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. It's going to look a bit ungainly and stark, but it's going to fit comfortably, and frankly, oversized is the look. There's head on, there's down the barrel, and again, there's the cuff shot. Taking a look at the hardware and the software, we have one of the signature Panerai Assolutamente straps, a minimally tanned, somewhat rusticated, simulated aged look. You can see it includes a little bit of bolstering to add some volume, and then as you roll it over, you can see its calf on the back, and it's matched with a simple double folding Panerai Clasp. Now, I say simple, but the reality is Panerai does not and has never used full trigger-actuated deployant clasps on its standard models. You can see while the watch itself is a combination of titanium and ceramic, the buckle itself is stainless steel and thus quite resilient. I'm going to zoom out real quick, regain focus because my camera is going crazy on me, and let's take a look at some of the details of the case. Now, the nice thing about the wire lugs is that first, they are easy to remove. You can see the little screws on the case back. They allow the lugs to pop straight out to permit strap swapping. And then you'll also appreciate that the lugs themselves are so minimal that even when I do that down the barrel shot over my wrist, you can see the edge of the case itself doesn't overlap my wrist despite the 48 millimeter size. Now, drawing a little bit nearer once more, you can see that the finish is sort of matte. It's a media blasted type finish that has no directional grain, and it absorbs light nicely. It's a bit of a discreet finish for a watch that's indiscreet in almost every way. It does feature a screw down crown and 100-meter water resistance, and we have an open worked, well, we're just going to call it an open dial because it's fashioned like this. It's not cut to this form, and it includes an awful lot of information. We have an AM/PM indicator for the second time zone. We have a constant seconds sub-register. We have 1, 2, 3 mainspring barrels, a 30-second multi-axial tourbillon. All of that, as you can see, controlled by the crown. Now, there is a second time zone. You can see how you have that second hour hand, but note that the two hands are not converging as they are both a 12-hour format, and you will use the AM/PM indicator at 3 o'clock to gauge whether you're looking at day or night as the arrow points. Now I'm going to return the crown inboard, pull it out to its first position, and show you that you can actually hide that second time zone if you want to clean up the dial and you have no desire to view the second time zone. All right, let's screw that crown back down and take a look at the tourbillon. Some folks call this the rotisserie chicken, and you can see why. It essentially turns like a rotisserie spit. Now, it's a 30-second tourbillon, meaning it's turning or it's rotating at twice the speed of the common 60-second wristwatch tourbillon. That helps it to better counteract the effects of gravity. And you'll also note its orientation. Obviously, there's the axis of rotation for the balance wheel, but then there's a second axis of rotation for the carriage itself. This allows the tourbillon to better serve the purpose of horological consistency, moving it in more dimensions to help equalize the effects of gravity cavity on the escapement. Now, the tourbillon carriage itself is hand finished, which is a rarity on a Panerai watch. You'll also appreciate the fact that it is very loud, and in a quiet room, you're definitely going to hear your tourbillon regulator. You can see that there's individual numbering on the tourbillon carriage. This is 121 out of 150. I'm going to hold it up to the mic and see if you can hear it. I'm not sure that you can, but the watch certainly has a voice to speak on its own behalf. Now, turning the case over, you can see that the caliber is caliber 2005S. It features a 6-day power reserve as well as a power reserve indicator on the reverse side. All of this pivoting on 31 joules. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. Of course, it's manual wind. It has the 6-day power reserve, which is the product of the 3 mainspring barrels, and an extraordinary amount of energy sits within this case. The timepiece features a titanium caseback and a ceramic case construction. The lugs themselves are metal, so they cannot snap or crack. And the timepiece, as you can see, is strictly for those who love more, excess, abundance. It is not a Panerai purist's watch. This is for those who might be considering the likes of Erwerk, who might be considering MB&F, Richard Mille, or even Grubel Forsey. It's a watch that appeals to that kind of sensibility. And if you love this watch, email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And I'm back with the Panerai PAM350. Fun fact, you have a fully loomed dial, and then when you turn the watch over, the power reserve indicator on the reverse side is also loomed. Also brilliant, this watch features a slipping bridle style mainspring that allows it to avoid accidental overwinding. That is not universal on manual calibers. Panerai, you thought of everything.